Today we are focused on Europe and we're focused on settling in Europe as a digital talent. We're talking about different pathways and we're using two countries, Germany and Malta, as a reference point for the rest of Europe. Please understand that different visa pathways have different requirements. And so we're not saying that every single pathway has the exact same requirements, but it's good to use this to sort of take a look at what is available out there. If you're joining us for the first time, this is eMigr8 Open Day. It's from the eMigr8 platform. eMigr8 is the tech-enabled pathway to talent mobility, relocation, and settlement. What we do on this platform is we help individuals become globally attractive talents. For now, we're focused on tech talent, but we're working really hard to expand to other industry verticals in the future. If you haven't done so already, please download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. It's available in Android and iOS stores, and this is where you want to start from. If you're an absolute beginner in the room, you're welcome. Although these visa pathways we're talking about today is not available for absolute beginner on day one, the good news is that it's something that you can plan for and build your profile towards over a period of time. If you're an expert in the room, you're welcome. You are likely already qualified for some of these pathways, and our coaches on the call today will be sharing with you using their journey a way for you to also start looking at your profile and looking at some of the things that you can do to maybe optimize your profile and some of the things that you can do to proceed on journeys of settling in Europe as a digital talent. The session will be about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, and it is packed with a lot of information, a lot of education, and inspiration. If you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you, and you would have to wait till the end of the session for you to find out what that gift is. Please let me know. Can you hear me and can you see my screen? And as I mentioned earlier, if you can, share your LinkedIn, share your digital profile. You can collaborate. You can introduce yourself in the chat because this is a networking session at the end of the day as well. You may be able to meet other people on the same journey as you, and we can continue that conversation in the eMigr8 community. Today's session, we will start by just sharing a little bit about eMigr8, what eMigr8 is, and also what eMigr8 is not. I mentioned already, if you haven't done so, please download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. We have it available on the different stores, and that is where you can start your journey from. It's free, mostly because we run a freemium model on this platform. We'll then go into the crux of the conversation today, which is around settling in Europe as a digital talent. And we'll have two coaches in the house. We've got Promise, who will be talking from the perspective of Malta as a digital nomad. And then we've got Louis, who will be talking from the perspective of Germany. We will also be sharing a number of information about different solutions that we have available that can help your journey towards becoming globally attractive, which is what it is that we do here on the eMigr8 platform. If you haven't done so already, please check the eMigr8 app. You will find a number of resources, video, information, tools that will help your journey, regardless of what visa type that you're interested in. We've talked about on this platform the likes of the UK Global Talent Visa, the US O1 visa, the US EB2 NIW. We've talked about the likes of the Australia Global Talent Visa, which is now the Australian National Innovation Visa. We've talked about the UK Innovator Founder Visa and several different visa opportunities. A number of these replay videos are available for you within the eMigr8 platform, particularly within the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. And so that's where you can take a look at them because these are coaches who have shared a lot of information about their journey and about what you can do to optimize your profile and what you can do to increase your chances of qualifying, applying successfully, and relocating and migrating using these visas to the different countries of the world. Today's session, we are focused on settling in Europe as a digital talent. And we have two coaches that will be sharing from their experience, their journey. And more importantly, we'll be talking from a perspective of Malta and Germany, but we'll be using that to take a snapshot at Europe as a whole and different programs available for you to move to different parts of Europe as a digital talent. As I mentioned, if you're an absolute beginner, please stay on, because even though you may not qualify for these opportunities right now, this moment today, you may qualify in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, depending on what you do today and every day towards you being qualified. And this is part of what we help you achieve on the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. It's a journey of you becoming globally attractive and a journey of you as an individual becoming a globally attractive talent. That's what we focus on the eMigr8 platform. And if you haven't done so, please download the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. This is where you can start your journey from an absolute beginner, or even if you already have a technology background, if you're already a technology expert, towards you becoming globally attractive. This platform will handhold you through the entire journey, regardless of if you're doing it yourself or you would like a case of someone doing it with you, or you would like a case of someone doing most of the legwork and logistics for you. We have this package running for the UK, which is called Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent. And it's an option available for you if you're an absolute beginner, or also if you are already established in the field of technology, but you're looking at moving from your own country to the UK as a tech talent. As an absolute beginner, we'll handle you through the entire process of becoming qualified and then applying successfully. As if you're already established, then the journey is about you building your profile towards also qualifying and applying successfully. You can move with your spouse and dependent. You are also able to use this pathway if you're looking for a way to switch from one visa type to the other within the UK. You will need time and equity investment if you're looking at this particular journey. And you would also need a minimum of 3 to 6 months if you're looking at this journey. If you're interested in this, do send a message on WhatsApp to any of the numbers on the screen, and we'll be able to get you forward to have a conversation with a coach as regards that particular opportunity. But this is just one out of many options, packages, and routes available on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. We've also done open days in the past, and we have many other open days coming up focused on different visa pathways, from the UK Innovator Founder Visa to the UK Global Talent Visa, the Technician Visa, to the US EB2 NIW Visa, to Canada Startup Visa, to the French Tech Visa. There are several different opportunities available. And on this platform is one place where you can find all of the information, all of the coaching needed, and all of the direction that you would need to help you qualify and successfully apply for many of these visa pathways. We don't offer immigration advice on this platform. We don't offer legal advice on this platform by itself. We do have partnership with immigration consultants and partnership with lawyers, but this platform is around helping you build a profile that qualifies for these opportunities. And that brings me to just explaining what we do here on the eMigr8 platform. On the eMigr8 platform, our focus is to help you become a globally attractive talent. You can do that using your profile, or in some cases, your tech-enabled business, maybe your startup. For many of us in the room, yes, you may have come in this room and on this session because you're interested in one visa pathway or the other. And the truth is, yes, if you are globally attractive, you would qualify and you have options for these different visa opportunities. The reason is very simple. Most forward-thinking countries of the world have made different visa opportunities available for individuals to move to their jurisdiction. They want you to bring your talents. They want you to bring your experience. They want you to bring your innovation, your ideas, your intellectual property, your money. They want you to bring it to their jurisdiction because they know that net, they are better off as a country, as an ecosystem. They don't mind you bringing your dependents along. They don't mind you bringing different things that you are bringing along. because they know that they will benefit in the long run, and in many cases, even in the short run, from your presence in their ecosystem and in their jurisdiction. So they are not doing you a favor. The visas are available because they need you. And that's what we help you discover on the eMigr8 platform. That's what we help you qualify for on the eMigr8 platform. That's the journey we help you on the eMigr8 platform. We do that looking at the likes of relocation, settlement, and integration, looking at inspiration, education, and holding. We look at the talent mobility, helping you with the journey and holding you through the journey that you need. And then also integration into this new ecosystem at the point when you're settling. We provide community, we provide evaluation, and several other options in terms of you becoming globally attractive. Yes, the visa is there, and you can qualify for those visa opportunity only if you build yourself and you work towards it over a period of time. And if you are qualified already, you want to make sure you are telling the correct story to ensure that the people assessing, the gatekeepers, know that you are one of the people that they are looking for to move to their jurisdiction or to settle in their jurisdiction. And so some of our services cover things like information, general inquiry, coaching and handholding, assessment of your qualification status, self-directed roadmap to if you want to qualify by yourself and you want to do it yourself, a roadmap that can help you, a roadmap towards you becoming globally attractive, and also help at the different stages of that journey. For example, with the UK Global Talent Visa, we can help with things like reviewing your UK Global Talent Visa application. If you've applied before and you got rejected, we can help with the likes of endorsement review, which is the appeal process. And there are several things that we can help with. It gets better because over 80% of what we do on this platform is free. No, we are not a charity. The reason is because we run a freemium model. A freemium model is that most of it is free, but then we charge a premium for some of our services as well on the platform. On the free side, eMigr8 Tech Visa app is where you want to start from. Most of our free offering are available directly on the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. And so if you haven't downloaded that app, use it every day. Open up the app, take a look at the features that are there, take a look at the offerings that are there, and that's a good place for you to start from. We've got information and inspiration. We maintain an active community on multiple social media profiles. We do open days like today's session where our coaches are waiting and are already in the room waiting to share a lot of information with you about their own journey and using their journey to educate and inspire you towards settling in Europe as a digital talent. And that's coming up right after I'm done with this section. And then we've got monthly open days, we've got introductory video, we have pre-evaluation and self-assessment documents, we have do-it-yourself templates that are available to you free of charge, and we have short inquiry sessions available as well. For the short coaching session, we encourage you to please make use of everything else that is available for free before you book a short coaching session. The reason is because for now, we're only able to do one free short coaching session per individual. And so we want you to go to those coaching sessions and ask questions that would be unique and personalized to you. Don't go to that session and say, oh, what is digital nomad visa? We have the open days and we have a lot of free resources, and you can simply Google it. Go to the session with a coach and speak to them about your own unique circumstance, and they will share with you some insight that will be useful to your journey. And so please use all the other resources available before you book the short coaching session, because the first one is free. If you need more, then you would have to pay for it. But I did mention that if you wait till the end of today's session, we do have a gift for you as well. On the premium side, we have eMigr8 Circle, which is a premium community. We have personalized coaching sessions. We have standard packages, eMigr8 Premium, and a number of custom packages and services that are available for you on the platform. The way we work, there are three key ways in which we work on the eMigr8 platform. You can choose an option of do it yourself, And we have most of our services available for free if you're doing it yourself and you just need a little bit of support in terms of your journey. All of that is available on the platform, but we do have options of do it with me, where you want someone to handhold you and work with you through the process. And we have a do it for me approach as well. In addition to that handholding, we are able to help with things of logistics, technical writing, and several other things that you may need as part of that journey. And this is available whether or not you are qualified already and you're working on a viable application, or you need a journey towards qualifying, even if you're an absolute beginner today. We have a number of packages available on the platform, from move to the UK as a global talent, focusing on the UK global talent visa, move to the UK as an innovator founder, focusing on the innovator founder visa, the US as a global talent, focusing on the O1 visa, the US EB2 NIW. If you have a UK master's, or you have a UK master's and you have about 5 years to 10 years of experience, with or without your masters, before or after your masters, you are likely close to qualifying for the US EB2 NIW visa if you are not already qualified. And so these are information that would be useful for you, and coaching sessions that can help with the different packages. We've got the UK sales sponsorship route that you can look at, and this focuses on the UK skilled worker visa, but you as your own employer. So you create a business, and then that business is able to sponsor your visa. So you no longer are depending on a different employer to sponsor you in the UK. This is for self-employed individuals, it's for entrepreneurs, and so it's not the right fit for every single person, but these are packages available on the platform. And we have the Settle in the UK as a tech talent one, which focuses on building your profile towards qualifying for 3 visas at the same time with an eMigr8 guarantee on that particular package. The eMigr8 Tech Visa platform is the place where you want to start from and get this information. We have the eMigr8 community as well, and we encourage you to join the eMigr8 community across the different social media channels. With the eMigr8 app, if you use the app for 7 days in a row, if you have a 7-day streak on the app, you would get a free coaching session, and that unlocks an additional coaching session for you to be able to use as part of your journey. Speaking with coaches, you will find out, is one of the ways to optimize your journey. There's no need for you to just do your journey in isolation. There are people that have gone through the journey before you, and those people are willing to help you and handhold you through the process, and the eMigr8 platform connects you with these kinds of individuals. Also, you can unlock £35 extra on the platform if you refer the platform to a friend. And when they unlock on the platform, you get £35, they get £35 as well. We'll just talk briefly about some of the other services available from partners on the eMigr8 platform. If you're looking at starting your journey in the field of technology, where you want to start from is the Bincom Global Tech Program, which helps you to learn tech now, and you are able to learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure in the field of digital technology. If you're an absolute beginner, this is a good program for you, because what it does is that it will take you through the journey towards you being a highly sought after tech talent. If you're at intermediate level and you see that there's a gap in your profile, maybe your experience, the kind of projects on your portfolio, or your exposure, this is also a good program for you. The full program is 1 year to 2 years in total, but we do have a subset of the program that helps you go from one stage to the other, and that is just for 3 months. And so that brings you tech trainings plus tech career coaching plus work references with UK companies, and several other features, and all of that for a fraction of a price. And this is part of the pathway that will help you towards you becoming globally attractive and qualifying for some of the visa opportunities that we're talking about today. The Bincom mentoring platform is also available to you if you are advanced in your field of technology and you're looking for a way to showcase your skill and to give back, which in many cases will generate public artifact that becomes useful for your profile and building your profile even further. Then we introduce to you the Beacom mentoring platform. It's a highly competitive mentoring platform. So it's not every single person that applies that we are able to bring on board as a mentor, but we invite you to apply as a mentor on the platform because we do have a number of mentees, many of them looking for mentors such as yourself, particularly if you've gotten to a certain stage in your technology career. We have Labs by Beacom that helps you become a founder. And how it does that is the best way for you to learn to become a founder is to actually build a company by yourself and build a company with a number of other people who are looking at building as well. And so we bring Labs by Beacom will bring you with 3 to 10 other people who are looking at becoming founders, and you will build a startup from scratch with these people. This startup will need to have real life users using whatever digital technology you come up with. It's good as your part of your portfolio. It's good if you're looking for industrial experience. It's good for you if you're looking to improve your career, or if you found out, oh, I've got services experience in my career and I haven't really done anything from a startup perspective and I need that for my journey. We've introduced to you Labs by Beacom as a way of getting there. And Labs by Beacom, a cohort is starting in the next few days. And so you may want to look at going to beacom.net/labs for you to register and get on a journey to build a startup from scratch with a team. The last one I'll talk about, which is a service also from our partner organization, would be the Tech Career Coaching Service, which is available at the moment for the UK, but we're working on bringing that for Canada and also for Germany in the next few weeks. It is helping you land your next role faster. And it's a combination of building the relevant experience, connection with technical recruiters, looking at your profile and building your profile from where it is to a point where you are highly sought after, landing new roles that would come with work visa sponsorship. It's live in the UK at the moment. We have a number of successes on this particular package and service, and we're looking at launching for Canada and Germany in the few weeks as well. You may want to take a screenshot of this slide because this slide just gives you a quick overview of the lay of the land. Today, we will be talking about the German Blue Card visa, and we'll be talking about the Malta Digital Nomad visa. But we'll be using those to take a look at opportunities available across Europe for you to settle as a digital talent in different parts of Europe. But this map is not an exhaustive list of visas. It's not even an exhaustive list of tech visas. It's just to give you an idea of the different opportunities that are out there, different opportunities that are calling onto you, depending on if you're a startup founder, if you're a talent, if it's work experience based, if it's a temporary pathway, and so on. So yes, take a screenshot of this slide because you may be able to take a look at these. Google each of those visa, look at the requirement, compare that with your profile. Some of them you're already qualified for. Some of them you may just need to put in a little more work, and then you do qualify for those visa opportunities. The lowest common denominator across all these visa types is that be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, you have options. On the eMigr8 platform at the moment, our current focus, we look at pathways to settlement. It could be a direct pathway to settlement or an indirect pathway to settlement in different countries. You hear about an indirect pathway to settlement during today's session of eMigr8 Open Day. We focus on visa options where you can eventually move with your family, where beginners can plan to say that, yes, you may not qualify right now, but you can build a journey by building yourself a roadmap, a route towards you qualifying over a period of time. For now, we are focused on tech-enabled opportunities only, tech visa, tech talent visas at the moment, but we are working on expanding the platform in the next few months to other industry verticals. We also discuss in depth many of these visa opportunities on eMigr8 Open Day, where we bring coaches on board who are able to share their experience, share their profile, share their journey, share a lot of information that you may not be able to find in the public domain, but more important, inspire, educate, and inform you about these different visa opportunities. If you would like to learn more, there's the eMigr8 Tech Visa landscape that is available. And with the landscape, what we've done is we looked at what the team has done is they went out there and looked at different visa opportunity. They looked at opportunities for newbies, absolute beginners, opportunities for intermediate, opportunity for experts. What are the qualification criteria? What's the roadmap for getting there? What are the costs, including hidden costs that you should consider? What's the pathway to settlement if you want to settle in those countries? What's the pathway? And we've compiled all of these and made it available free to you on the eMigr8 platform. And so that may be a good place for you to take a look to say if you want to explore and you want to understand more about some of these different visa opportunity, it's a good place for you to take a look at. We also have the eMigr8 resources and the eMigr8 Open Day replay video where people who have qualified and gotten these visa and have helped, and in some cases, people that have helped other people get these visas, talk about that journey and some of the things that you should know as regards that journey, available on the eMigr8 platform. And one thing we would say to you is that if you feel like, oh, I don't yet qualify, and I'll be calling our first coach on Promise in a moment. If you're saying that I don't yet qualify, what should I be doing? What we believe you should start with is build yourself a personalized roadmap. Take a look at what the requirements of the visa opportunity that you are targeting. What are the requirements? What does it require of me? What does it require of my profile or of my business, depending on where you are? And then build yourself a roadmap towards getting there over a period of time. You could be an absolute beginner today, a newbie, you haven't even started your journey at all, but you can build a roadmap towards becoming globally attractive, becoming an expert, becoming qualified for these visa opportunities over a period of time. And this is what we help you do on the eMigr8 platform. We help you take a look at that journey, and we help you with every step of that journey from where you are today to when you are qualified. And even when you are qualified and you get this visa, life does not stop when you get a visa. It actually is a new world and a new journey out there. And this platform is available to you for relocation, settlement, and integration into the different economies. And we look at the likes of even reverse migration on the platform as well. And so that's the platform you want to be on, the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform. We're going to be, if you have questions, we will not have the time for you to ask the question live on the call today. And so as you have questions, please drop them in the chat. And as you know, you may forget your questions very quickly as well. Please drop them in the chat. We will take as many of the questions as possible. We also have some questions that were already gotten from the different eMigr8 community that we'll also be sharing with our coaches as they go along. And so we're going to hear from Promise first and then Louis second. And then right after that, we are going to go into question and answer, where we would also be answering as many of your questions as possible. As I mentioned earlier, if you stay till the end of this call, we do have a gift for you, and you would have to wait till the end for you to find out what that is. If you're watching the replay video, we still have that same gift for you as well. If you watch till the end, you will find out what this gift is all about. And so, having said that, I would like to say a big thank you to our coaches, Promise, and also Louis today. And Promise, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good day from wherever you are joining. So a brief intro about me. My name is Promise Nwafo, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm a software engineer and also a digital nomad in Malta currently. So I will be taking you through mostly like the Malta digital nomad visa process, how I went through it and like the requirements as well. But before I start, I want to give you also a bit of a history about my background into tech because I actually like I I made a career switch basically because I studied microbiology in the university, and after that I graduated in 2019. Um, After which I decided to move into tech, and that was 2020. During the COVID-19 actually, the COVID lockdown. So I mostly used some courses. So I'm giving you the history for people that are still wanting to like maybe get into tech, you know. So where I started, like I started from like courses from Udemy, courses from YouTube, actually, YouTube videos. So and then I made sure I joined. You know, when Mr. Bede was talking, when you were talking about Bincom, that was when I actually remembered that I benefited from it because in 2020 I actually joined the Bincom Python classes. Then I just remembered, you know. So I started by taking some courses. Then I joined a community in Nigeria, She Code Africa. Now it's like Africa, but it's for women that want to go into tech, you know, just belonging to a community because it's actually like it's one of the things that will keep you going, you know, when you are not, you know that you are not alone. Because when I started, I mostly like didn't have any personal guide. I had to like seek them, you know. So I just like I kept learning on my own, kept learning till I basically got an unpaid internship, you know. You know, sometimes I know money is the motivation and stuff like that. And you might be like, should I take it? Should I not take it? But I would advise you take it, you know, because of course you need the industry skills. And sometimes even entry levels, they're gonna ask you like you should have this experience already. So I had to like I took the internship. It was unpaid, but no problem. I did it. But after that, I got another internship that was then paid. Um, that was in Lagos, Nigeria. And after doing it, so I would say my career actually started properly like in the year 2021 when I now got a job, proper job, and would I? It was a proper job, but still I wanted to write code, but I found out I was still using WordPress. So, but like because of that passion, you know, the passion was driving me that like after work, when I went back home, I would like still write some code on my own. I just kept building projects because I knew if I left it, like I mean, that would be it. I wanted to be like, I wanted to write code. I just didn't want to do WordPress. But because it was putting money on the table, I was doing it. Then by the side, I would still write code. But eventually, after like about a year, yeah, oh, a little over a year. So I decided to start applying for proper tech jobs, you know. So because I had a lot of like people I knew then that relocated to Germany, so I actually focused on Germany, but like it didn't happen for me. But then I then got a remote job from the US, and it was like a proper remote job. So you know, some of them, because previously I got another one, but they would pay you based on your location. But that one was proper because it was they just paid. It doesn't matter where you were living, they would pay you where like the proper salary you're supposed to earn. So that was like a highlight for me then because so I would say like it took me like so to learn the coding the process took me like about I started maybe April 2020, so maybe about 6 months to 10 months but before I got internship and still the paid one, but the unpaid one I got it shortly like maybe 4 months or something. But what I'm just saying is it doesn't even matter your level, you know. You can start applying. You can start applying, not just like Nigeria, if in Nigeria, you can just start applying to other places. You never know. Because when I got into the company, I was not like the best, but it means like if you're willing to learn, you know, if you're willing to be resourceful, you know, it's gonna pay. It's gonna pay because that's basically it. So after getting the job, I worked. So after working for about over a year with the company. They were really good. I learned a lot. Like I kept working hard. So I joined them as a junior. They just moved me to mid, like after a year. So it was going well. But then I now was planning because my friends, they were already like relocating. They were relocating to the UK basically, via the study route. But I just didn't want that. Then I mean, I wanted to travel. As of then, I had not like left Nigeria at all. So I wanted to like, yeah, I needed to travel. So I was like, where would give me like the best visa to travel? Because I mean, I knew if I followed them to the UK, I still need other visa. It's not as if I didn't really want to like move to the UK like that for that. So I started making my research. That was when I discovered the digital nomad visa, actually, for the first time. In case you don't know what digital nomad is, basically just it's just about like you moving from place to place. That's basically it. You're working remotely, then you can just travel anywhere while you are still completing your work. So I discovered about the visa. I then I checked out Portugal. That was actually the first one because I was specific about Europe. So I checked Portugal. It made sense for me. I emailed them, but they never responded. I mean, I was disappointed. They never responded. Then I just kept making my research. I discovered other countries, but eventually I discovered Malta. Because, as you're checking, you're just checking the one that is best for you, you know. So when I discovered Malta, it intrigued me, mostly because I just discovered when Portugal, they were not so specific, they were not so detailed. That time they were still doing D7 visa, so they were not really so detailed. But Malta, like as soon as I was reading, I was understanding what I was checking, because what stood out for me then is like even as a digital nomad, I they wouldn't ask me to pay any tax in Malta you know. So they don't ask for that. So after discovering some things, I then emailed them and they got back the same day, which was a good thing. And they just listed the requirements, like how I would proceed. And the whole process, as of then, actually, it took just like I emailed them like ending towards beginning of December, but the whole process finished like January, February. Yeah. So it didn't take time at all, the visa and everything. So after emailing them, they got back, they told me what to get. And so the minimum requirement now for the Malta one, but before I got to the minimum requirement, like the the stuff that stick out, I already said like is this I didn't need to pay tax in Malta. You just come, you can pay your tax wherever you are if you pay tax, of course. Um, then again, Malta is still in the Schengen. I wanted to like travel within the Schengen, basically. So Malta is still within the Schengen and is in the EU. So it's mostly like, oh yeah, it's a good thing. I can travel the way I wanted to. And also, I checked off, of course, the cons as well. Um, so it's not like the straightforward route for you to get your settlement in Malta, for instance. It's so what I called it then was like it's just that visa process is a means to an end, and it was a good means, you know. Um, so I just started the process, which was like the minimum requirements. Um, it's like you have to be working remotely. You have to be working remotely. Even if you own a business, it should be like the business should be like a remote. If you're an entrepreneur, it should be like you work remotely, you complete the task remotely. If you are a freelancer, it's still the same thing. And also, your clients shouldn't be located in Malta. And if you're an employee, your company shouldn't be located in Malta. Everything should be based outside of Malta. So you are just the one coming to Malta to work from Malta, but not work in Malta. So that's what this visa is all about. Um, and you should be making at least 2,700 euros per month. I mean, sometimes when I tell people, like from Nigeria, you'll be like, oh, is that possible? It's so possible. Yeah, so possible. Um, So those are the minimum requirements. You have to be working remotely, and your minimum income should be 2,007 euros. Um, Once you have these, like, I mean, that's like the major stuff for you. And then so I just like I mean, I was an employee, so my employer had to like just write short letter saying, yeah, Promise is an employee here, she earns this and stuff. And that was part of what I just gave them. No much document actually. So the letter and then my 3 months bank statement. And yeah, I think those two was what I submitted to the agency first. Um, yeah, and I paid 300 euros for that process. So after checking it and everything, they issued me my approval that yes, you are qualified, and the visa agents, motor visa agency will reach out to you in the next few days for the next process. And that was it. It didn't take time at all. And then they contacted me, the visa agency contacted me and sent me the Schengen visa form to fill. Then I would also need to, at that stage, get my health insurance. And the health insurance had to be up to 1 year contract. But that time, like I said, it was not so popular then. So a lot of things were just easy. But even now, it's still not like it's still not difficult. A lot of people are getting it all the time. So the health insurance then I paid just about $15, I think, yeah, from Genki insurance. But now they don't accept it. They accept some other ones, but not that one. So I paid just that to get 1 year contract for the insurance I used. Then for accommodation, I mean, I'm so big on research. So before then, I already made research about where should I stay. I advise people no, don't pay anybody for accommodation till you come to Malta because there are a lot of scammers everywhere, especially in that aspect of accommodation. But because I already made my research, I knew those people well. So I paid them for my accommodation. They gave me 12 months contract because the place is like, it's an accommodation for digital nomads, basically in Malta. So I paid them. They gave me 12 months contract. But I didn't plan to stay there for up to 12 months. But they helped me. They gave me 12-month contract because they already know that, like the process. But that's it. But what I advise people to do now is if you are looking for accommodation, when it comes to accommodation, just get a temporary accommodation. That is fine as well. Go to booking.com or anywhere, book temporary, just 1 month and submit it. They will take it, it's fine. When you come to Malta, you find your accommodation. But after getting all this, I sent it with my passport. But though the agency, the Malta visa people came to my address in Lagos to pick up the passport and these documents I just mentioned. They took it to Malta. That was the longest wait. I thought it was going to take like 1 week, but it took about almost 3 weeks. So they took it to Malta to put my visa on it, to stick the visa and then returned it. So it took a while, like 3 weeks. That was like the longest wait I had to wait for all the processes. So they took it back. But now you don't even need to do that if you're in Nigeria because there's now the VFS, there's now visa Maltese embassy or wherever in Lagos. So you can just take all these documents, make an appointment and go there. The same thing. You don't need to like wait that long. So that was it actually. The stick came back. I just prepared for my journey. I mean, it's already in the Schengen, and of course, traveling from Lagos, you can't find like a direct flight to Malta. So you have to so I used Qatar because a lot of people kept saying a lot of good things about Qatar, but it was the longest flight for me because I had to fly from Nigeria to Doha, from Doha to Barcelona, from Barcelona to Malta. Oh my God. So that was a long one. But I mean, it was not bad. It was not bad. And I landed in Malta, made the appointment for my biometrics. So everything went smoothly because I already got the accommodation. But for people that don't get the accommodation before landing in Malta, once you land in Malta, you won't do your biometric before the accommodation. You have to get your accommodation first. And that's when you should actually get your accommodation. So you will see the way it is, see everything, get it, and then do your biometric. Within 3 weeks, everything would come out. your resident card will come out, and that's it. That's it. Because me, I stayed briefly with the bunch of digital nomads then in Malta. Nice people, good, but at some point you might still want to engage because I was actually the only African. I mean this like the only black among them, you know. The fun, we were doing things, but sometimes you still want to like engage with others. So it was actually like almost after 1 year that I came to Malta that I realized that they actually had a little WhatsApp group or for digital nomads from Nigeria in Malta. I never knew. But I think they created it because when I came to Malta, I created some awareness. A lot of people they wanted to move to Malta and it happened for them. I assisted them. But that time I was already like I already made friends. So I didn't need to join the group. But just so you know, there are like a lot of like there are communities. There are Africans, there are, Nigerians, case one. But it just depends on the kind of place, you want to live. But there are all these people there. Um, One thing I wanted to also say was like like in Malta, we have like so like the transportation is free, so it's free. It's not like if you're using the bus, the public transport. If you want to use cab, of course you will pay, but if it's public transport, you are cool. And based on the cost of living, I think it's fairly okay. It's fairly okay because I mean, food, I usually say that food will never, like, you won't go hungry. You might go homeless in Europe, but not hungry. Like, because food is usually like there for you. Um, but it's just the accommodation that you should watch out. So, like, as a digital nomad, so I don't know if I'm over time, but Mr. Bede, you can just comment.
Yeah, still good. 5 more minutes.
Okay. Okay, so basically, the accommodation, you should just be careful the areas you want to live. If you want the poppy places, you will be planning like so I wouldn't advise anybody again to maybe go to the nomad community I stayed because the accommodation then was like high. I didn't know. I mean, they had everything, swimming pool, days I was enjoying. But when I really went to get my own apartment, I saw that I actually paid way higher than I was supposed to. So you get your own apartment. If you are someone that want to share with people, you can even get as low as like 400 euros. But 400 euros will give you somewhere maybe you might share toilet if you're someone that can share toilets with people and kitchen. But if you want to stay alone, have your pace in a puppy area, you might be budgeting like 800 euros, 900 euros for a one bed apartment because real estate is quite high, especially in those puppy areas. And in the terms of out finding, because most times, of course, when you get to Malta, what's next? That's what you would ask. Because I already said it's not really a means to settlement. So what would you do? What I would suggest, is landing. Once you land in Malta, you can come with your family, of course, and your kids can go to school free. Like they don't have to pay school fees. So, but you, of course, you still need pathway to settle. And if Malta is really the place you want to settle, then I would suggest to immediately try to find a job in Malta. So Malta is not like UK that you start looking, filtering for companies to sponsor you. No. Once you get a job, the employer will just apply for your work permit. So it's not even if it takes time to come out, it doesn't matter, but it's in the process, so you are free to stay, you know. It's not like, oh, would they sponsor me? If they can hire you, if you prove to them to hire you, you are okay. They will sponsor you and you just switch to work permit immediately. You don't need to keep. I mean, I renewed my normal resident, but because I still I was thinking, should I really base in Malta? But I mean, of course, when you come to Malta, you decide you want to base here. Is it too small for you? Because Malta is actually a small place. So if it's not too small for you, if you really want to base there, then it's better to settle everything immediately. Find a job. There are many iGaming companies in Malta, many casinos. So they hire more Even when you are going to the clubs around, you see them, they will write, we are hiring. So they always hire. So you can just apply to those ones if you are into like those areas they're hiring for. Or you look for work in other places. Even job like security, they would like file for your work permit, you know. They will just any job you get, and you really need to say you don't have the papers to say, they will apply for a work permit. You get a work permit and settle. If you want to move to other countries, like you can do that, of course. You can do that. But like just start from somewhere. That's what I would say. And before I just conclude, I would say like the renewal process, if you want to renew, because the visa would be for 1 year, and if you want to renew, the minimum criteria is still the same thing, but you should have stayed in Malta for that whole year. You should have stayed at least 5 months in Malta for you to be qualified to renew again. And that's it. But I would advise, if you renew for the second year, after that, you should have already decided what you want to do and to settle and start doing it. So you shouldn't keep renewing and just giving them your money. Of course, you're not paying tax, but still, you are buying stuff there. So you just find a pathway to settle immediately. And I think with that, I will just drop the mic for now. And if you have any question, you can ask me later in the during the Q&A. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Promise. And you really, really broken the journey down. Um, and as Promise was saying, and coming to Louis now in a moment, as Promise was saying, the Malta Digital Nomad Visa is not a pathway to settlement. It's not a direct pathway to settlement. However, Promise has mentioned a number of options that you can also then look at for pathway to settlement. One of the things we encourage sometimes is that you may want to look at these kinds of intermediate steps because it gets you closer to maybe where you want to be eventually, or whichever way. And there are options of applying for work within Malta, applying for work across Europe, or renewing the digital nomad visa, moving to other jurisdiction, and so on. Or there are several other options available like that. And with Malta, not every digital nomad visa allows you to move with your family. Some allow, some do not. Malta is one of the ones that would allow you to move with your family. Also, not every digital nomad visa is a pathway to settlement. Some digital nomad in Europe actually have a pathway to settlement. If you stay for a number of years, 5 years, 6 years, 6 years or thereabout, you would actually be able to settle and get a permanent residency in those countries. But you need to note that you have to continue meeting the requirement of the visa. The requirement of the visa is that you're earning money at a certain level from outside that jurisdiction. Those are like some of the similarities of digital nomad visa across different parts of Europe. One of the things you can do is just put the name of a country in Europe and say digital nomad visa. It is more than likely that they have one program or the other. About 70% of the countries in Europe have a digital nomad program or the other. But Louis, it's time to hear from you as well. And as we said to the audience, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. We're hoping you would have lots and lots and lots of questions. If you have questions for Promise, if you have questions for Louis, please drop them in the chat. We will be discussing. And if you have questions for the eMigr8 team as well, drop them in the chat and we'll be taking as many questions as possible as part of this open day. Don't forget, we also mentioned that if you wait till the end of this session or you watch this replay video till the end, we do have a gift for you. Over to you, Louis.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Luis, or wherever time you are in the world. It's nice to see you here. Thanks a lot, Promise, for the very detailed journey that you mentioned, and thank Bade for the opportunity to talk to everyone and kind of, expose my journey as well here. I will try to take it by pieces. So talk about a little bit about myself, a little bit about Germany and kind of the living conditions here, a little bit about the visas and the options that you have on visas here. And I would be very happy to take questions at the end. I think that I don't have a lot, to be honest, to say. but I'll definitely would like to know what are your questions so I can try to address them. I'll be very happy about that. So let's start. Um, so I'm Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil. I lived between Brazil and France when I was younger. Graduated in engineering in both countries. And then I always wanted to move out, and I took the employment opportunities that allowed me to do that. So I always wanted to work with multinational companies that kind of were sending their employees outside. It didn't happen for me, and I was frustrated, and I wanted to study outside to make sure that it happened. So I decided to go to London to do a master, basically. So I saw some of the questions online about, oh, I'm a marketer or I'm not a tech person. Is it possible to do? I'm not a tech person either. I can code, but in VBA, which is kind of Excel, basically. But just to address this question, yes, I think it is possible even outside of it. And definitely, technically, it's very possible to do that in Germany. So I studied in London, stayed there for 2 more years after my studies. And there I met the woman that became my wife, and she's German. We decided to come to Germany. What I did when I was already living there is look for a job in Germany where I wanted to go. I was fortunate enough that was 2018. Yep. And I was fortunate enough to find that job relatively quickly. So I moved to Germany with a sponsored visa, basically with a blue card, with a blue card sponsored visa, basically. And I stayed in that blue card for 5 years. 5 years later, so I changed jobs. I was working at a company called Babbel, which is the language learning app you might have heard about. 5 years later, so I met all the requirements. There are requirements around kind of salary and it's basically around salary. This is the highest requirement. You don't have to, if you make a certain salary, you don't have even to speak German, but then the requirements are different around salary, around the occupation and stuff. But after that, I switched which is kind of the traditional path in the German system. I switched my visa to what they call here Niederlassungserlaubnis, which is basically a permission to settle based on my family. So today I have an unlimited visa. That was 2022. And in October 2024, so last year, I've applied for the German citizenship, which the laws changed relatively recently. So I'm waiting for that to process. One thing that you have to know about German bureaucracy is that it's relatively slow. For certain things, it's quite quick and efficient, but certain other things, it's relatively slow. And once you're already in the country, things might take a little bit of time. So I've been waiting since October 2024 for my citizenship here in Germany. They have allowed they're allowing today to have a double citizenship, which is not the rule before, and that rule might change again. But that was the big change at the beginning of 2024 that double citizenship was basically allowed in Germany. I have always worked with marketing, digital marketing. I was a country manager when I was at Babel. I was all the way to head of growth. Was director of marketing at Home24, which is a furniture retail company here in Berlin. I was director of marketing at IU, which is a education company, a higher education company. And after that, so now I run my own business here in Germany. And funnily enough, that's how I met Bade actually. My company does technology products for visa consultants. So this is our business basically is for visa consultants, for any immigration professional. We build technology products to automate the processes in the background, called Peninsula. So if you can check that out if you want. But if that's okay with you, I will put the link, probably the LinkedIn link in the chat.
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Please go ahead.
Let me do that now then. So this is my visa pathway, and it's not half as detailed as what Promise said, but this is roughly my visa pathway so far. Let me take a moment here and to see if anyone has questions so far.
Okay. I'm sure there are quite a number of questions, Luis. I think one of the ones to just mention maybe briefly is just if you want to talk about the German blue card visa, particularly for some of the members of the audience that might not be quite familiar. It's a work visa. You need to land a role, and then
Right.
company will sponsor you. But if you just speak a little bit about that particular
course.
video.
Of course, of course. So the blue card visa, normally you can apply, you're eligible for a blue card visa when you already have a job in Germany. I will talk about different types of visas in Germany a little bit later, but for the blue card, you typically apply when you already have a job in Germany. So the blue card is not very, but it's a relatively special visa. It's very popular in Germany, but there's a threshold of a salary to get the blue card. So there's not actually one, there's two. Depends on which occupation you were on. The salary might be lower actually. And I'll just check that before the session. And let me, exactly. So your gross salary must be 48,000 euros, 48,300 euros for overall professions. But if you were in a STEM, actually three thresholds. If a STEM, a field, construction, education, the threshold is slightly lower. It's around 44,000 euros. And if you graduated within the last 3 years, the minimum required is around 41,000 euros. So it varies a little bit, doesn't vary too much, but it does vary a bit. And the interesting thing is that employers tend to use that as a benchmark to hire, basically. So they tend to set your salary close or right above that limit, just to make sure that you get a blue card. So this is kind of a benchmark for you to get this process. And normally, if you can apply, you're eligible for a blue card, you will be fast tracked somehow. So yeah. So there's a question on the chat.
We'll take the questions in the Q&A.
Sure. Okay. There are other, requirements, but I'm sure the company, if you get a offer from the company will normally support you with that blue card application with a visa consultant. It takes kind of obvious stuff, a valid passport and all your documents and stuff. You're also going to have to pay for healthcare insurance for a certain while here in Germany. Healthcare insurance is a very important topic in Germany that you cannot overlook. And you will have to have your education document most likely recognized in Germany. There are specific process for this. It's an interesting process, actually, something that we work on. But basically, you will have to submit your education, either education or proof of experience in a certain field to get the recognition that you are a qualified worker there. You don't necessarily have to have a university education, but if you don't, you will have to prove that you worked X years within the job that you do. It's very common in Germany for especially for IT and STEM to issue blue cards. Someone asked again if there's marketing opportunities. There is quite a lot of marketing opportunities here. There was more, to be super honest, until 2021. Germany was booming, and Berlin was really like a big attraction for internationals. There's quite a lot of people coming and going. After 2021, Germany went into a crisis with the war and with the higher electricity prices and whatever not. The economy in Germany kind of stalled a little bit, and it's been harder to find these jobs, but there's still a lot of people coming. It's still, for the companies as well, it's a question of price and a question of money, and it's definitely attractive for the companies to hire international talent to come to work in Berlin. One of the questions is whether the salary is sustainable and kind of, allows you a quality of living. I can talk about that in a bit. I wanted to talk first about, whether you have any questions about any topic that you would like me to approach with any other thing that you'd like me to say about the blue card. Yeah.
I think one more, and then we'll open up for question and answer. Is just you were going to mention about some of the other pathways in Germany. Do you want to touch on that briefly, and then we'll go into the question and answer proper?
Okay, so some of the other pathways in Germany. So I will talk probably a bit more about what's most demanded lately. One of the things that Germany is really, really stressing on is what they call blue-collar workers. So for the past, I don't know, up until 2021 and probably like the 5 years or even the 10 years leading to 2021, Germany there was a big demand in IT workers, right? So anyone working with technology, basically. And it worked really well in Germany, so they attracted quite a lot of people. But now a little bit the knob is turning towards blue-collar workers. So what does that mean? Is that Germany has a deficit of hand workers. And you hear that in kind of, every possible imaginable industry. Butchers, carpenters, construction builders, electricians, plumbers, bus drivers or truck drivers and things like that. So this is another one that I really wanted to mention. Maybe this is not the audience, I understand that, but I just wanted to mention that, this is a big opportunity now here in Germany. There's quite a lot of people coming that way. The other potential pathways to come is the Chancenkarte. So where it's a point-based system where if you fill certain points, some of them is depending on the depending on the qualification that you have, depending on how good you speak German, and depending on the experience that you have. There's kind of, I think, 4 or 5 criteria. You can easily find them online. You can apply to come to Germany for a year to look for a job here. It's quite attractive. It's quite interesting. I met a few people who've done that, and quite a lot of them are successful in finding something here. It will require also you to fulfill some requirements, such as you're going to have to put money aside on a what they call an escrow account on a bank. If something doesn't work, kind of, you have kind of money aside, and if something doesn't work for you, you can kind of tap on that money. You're going to have a health insurance, and I think you're going to have to rent an apartment before you come. But after that, the more points you get, the easier it is for you to come. This is a Chancenkarte. Do look it up. I think it's a very interesting one. I know a few Brazilians that came and found their job here with the Chancenkarte, and a lot of people actually came and had a lot of fun while looking for a job. So this is also good. Berlin's a very fun city. But anything else? This is the Chancenkarte. I think this is the second biggest one.
Yeah, I think it's a good summary. And then to the audience and to the eMigr8 community generally, we'll be opening to question and answer at this point. So if you have questions for any one of us, now is a good time to put them in the chat. It may take you a bit of time to type those questions in. We won't have the opportunity to ask you to come on stage to ask your question yourself in this edition of the eMigr8 Open Day. And so you would have to type your questions in the chat. I'll just mention quite a number of visa opportunities. And yes, somebody was asking, is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded, and by within 24 hours, it will be available. The link and the video will be available within the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. And so if you don't have the app already, please download the app. That's the place where you will get all of this information in one place. Don't forget that we are not offering immigration advice nor legal advice here. We're just sharing from our experience and information that is available to us and to each one of the coaches on the call today, and helping each individual in terms of your journey towards becoming globally attractive. And I think the summary of what we wanted to say, and Louise was just talking about the German job seeker visa. There's a German name for it, which I can't pronounce, but it's pretty much a job seeker visa where Germany allows you to move to their jurisdictions for 6 months, and then I think you can renew for another 6 months. Pardon?
It's a year, so you can move here for a year, basically. And so, but would you kind of try to explain a little bit how the immigration system works in Germany? Is that okay?
Yes, please go ahead, Louis.
Yeah. So one of the things that is interesting. So Promise was already, and Bada also mentioned about the citizenship route, basically, or the track to citizenship. This is something that's quite important for Germany. So Germany basically has 3 categories or roughly 3 categories of visas for people who want to come and work and stay, which is your first kind of permission to come in, called Aufenthaltstitel, which is kind of the blue cards are part of it. It's the first visa they get, or a job visa or Chancenkarte, is where you come and stay. There's not a lot of requirements to speak German. Sometimes they require A1, A2 level, but not a lot of requirements. If you get a job, you can come. It's not that the complication is to get a job, of course, but if you can get a job, you can come. Then you have the second category of visa, which is the permission to settle, called in German Niederlassungserlaubnis. which is longer term. So you will get a visa after, there's different requirements, but between 3 and 8 years, depending on your salary, depending on where you work, depending on how integrated you are, your level of German, for example, you studied here or not, you will get a long-term visa here. So I got this after 5 years, or I could apply for it after 5 years. Also because I have family here, or my family is German. But if you, for example, studied in Germany and you speak German very well, you can apply after 3 years. Normally, the latest you would get is after living in Germany for 8 years. A lot of people get it after, or can apply for it after 5 years. There are other requirements to get it on the long run. You have to have contributed to a rental, not a rental, sorry, a retirement funds and things like that. A bit more, I'm not going to go into the details, it's a bit too bureaucratic, basically. And after a few years here, so it depends on the requirement again, but after 5 to 8 years here, you can also apply for citizenship. That's what I've done recently. So a lot of people apply for citizenship between 5 and 8 years. It's relatively a fast track, especially if you look at the requirements are relatively, I don't want to say easy, but they're there. And it's attainable. So there's quite a lot of people applying for citizenship now, and Germany is looking to fast tracking citizenship applications now. And they also allow double citizenship, which is something that's relatively new. That was in the beginning of 2024, which was not allowed before. So you can keep, you could apply, but you had to give up your original citizenship. Today you can keep your citizenship with the origin country. So this is quite attractive, I find. There's a clear pathway, independent of the visa that you get in, or you're coming with. There's a clear pathway to citizenship and a clear pathway to kind of stay here long term. And I think this is a big advantage to come to Germany.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Louis, for that. And so I was just going to read out about 10 or so different visa pathways from across Europe, just to share with the audience, and then we would open up formally for question and answer. Don't forget, as we said, please type out your questions in the chat. We've talked about the Malta Digital Nomad Visa. We've talked about the German EU Blue Card Visa, and Louis has also sort of shared quite a number of different other pathways available for Germany. With the UK, we've got the UK Global Talent Visa, which is something that you may want to Google. All of these visa requirements, if you Google them, there's a lot of the information online about the eligibility criteria. If you take a look at the eMigr8 Tech visa landscape, we've tried to compile and compress all of that into one visa landscape for you to make it available to you. With Portugal, there's the D7 visa in Portugal, which could also lead to a pathway to settlement. Spain has the Spain Digital Nomad Visa. Estonia has its a digital nomad visa. Greece, Hungary has the white card visa. And there are quite a number of the countries in Europe. What you can try and exercise, just type any country in Europe and say digital nomad visa. A number of options will come out for you. Put a country in Europe and type startup visa. A number of options will come out for you as well. And just to say to you that Europe would like you to come, as Louis pointed out, to say that, yes, in terms of the job market itself, it may not be as buoyant as it used to be a year or two ago, but still people are landing roles and people are able to move landing a role. But then you are also able to move without a role. If you already have a role from outside of Europe, you can move with the digital nomad visa, or you could move to the likes of Germany with the job seeker visa. And all of these is available for you, whether you are in Nigeria, you're in Ghana, you're in South Africa, you're in Kenya, and you're in a non-EU country, you are already in the UK, regardless of where you are, many of these opportunities are actually available to you. We find that members of the community sometimes just feel like, oh, because of where I am at the moment, maybe these opportunities are not open. Yes, there are some visa opportunities that are not open to you, depending on what country you are from, but a number of these opportunities are actually available to you regardless of the country you are from. And so the onus lies on you for you to start being informed about these opportunities, being educated about these opportunities, and be inspired to try. Don't also say that I'm an absolute beginner and so therefore this is not for me. You're correct that as at today, some of these opportunities we are talking about today, you're required to be earning around 40,000 euros, 35,000 euros per year, that is, before you can qualify. But the truth is that you can start earning that over a period of time if you plot your journey and you are strategic about your journey. Promise was talking about how she started with unpaid internship. She was earning zero or thereabout. And then over a period of time, she started increasing her income and she was strategic about some of the actions and decisions that she took in terms of that journey as well. Louis also talked about the fact that he moved to Germany at some point and then also was able to land roles within Germany. And then over time, started his own company now and is also building and continuing to grow. The point we're saying to you in the community today is that these opportunities are open. Not all of them will be open forever. Some policies will change. Countries would decide based on quota, based on whatever requirement they are looking at to decide whether or not do we still want a certain kind of people, a certain set of skill, do we want to tighten the requirement or do we want to make the requirement easier? But as at this moment that we are talking, many of these opportunities are open and they're available to you. The question is, what are you waiting for? Are you preparing and positioning yourself to attract them and qualify for them? And so with that being said, we then open up to questions. I see there are a number of questions in the chat already, and we'll start with you, Promise, and in terms of question. And there was a question I was going to ask, but I've lost it. So I'm just going to go to the next question around moving with family. Promise, I don't know if you could speak a little bit more around digital nomads and then moving with family. Digital nomad visas are generally temporary visas and all of that, but what does that look like from a perspective of moving with family using Malta as a case study?
Yeah, okay. So moving with your family, for instance, like I already said, the minimum salary requirement or income requirement rather is 2,007 euros, 700 euros. But let's say you are moving with your family. You know, some countries they're gonna outline it for you that per a single dependent you are taking with you, you should add this to the income you earn. But Malta, they don't do that way. They just say like what they will tell you is you should earn a little more than the 2007 euros if you're coming with your dependents. Because I actually got just one person when like I've been helping people migrate through the pathway, but like I've only got one person that they rejected. And why they rejected the person was so he was moving with his wife and 3 kids. But yet you are proving that you make about like just 3,000 euros. That's too small. Like if you check it, they already told you that one person should make about 2,700. So if you're coming with that much dependent, you should have told them, oh, you make up to like maybe 3,500. They didn't outline, they didn't specify, but I just feel like that's what I usually advise people. They didn't specify, but if it's to move with your family, yeah, it's still possible. You can move with like, your immediate family. That's like your wife and your kids. And like I already said, your kids, they don't have to pay for school fees in Malta, but your spouse, like your partner, so they have the dependent visa. And when they come there, they will get their dependent permit. But of course, they can't work with it. That's how Malta made it. So they have to like find a job. And that is even easier because once you find your job, your partner finds the job, they will give her or him the work permit. And with that, you can convert all your other family members. You change. Because, of course, the work permit is better than the nomad visa, if you ask me, because with the work permit, it's already a pathway to settlement. So, yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And Louis, I'll come to you. In terms of I mean, you work with quite a number of immigration consultants and also exposed to the space generally. What would you say about Europe generally in terms of welcoming skilled migrants, talents into Europe generally. We've talked about the German opportunities. Are you aware of others from other parts of Europe? But more important, is Europe welcoming to talents generally?
So how Europe is welcoming talent and just on a visa perspective, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think so looking at the numbers, right, and looking at the sheer kind of size of markets and kind of how many visas are issued every year in so non-tourism visas that are issued in every country in Europe. The bigger ones are definitely Germany by far. It's the second biggest market in the world in terms of non-tourism visas issues every year. Second one is the UK. So again, Germany is bigger than UK. Think about it. Germany is bigger than any other, except for the US, is bigger than any other country in the world. Germany, UK, we have Spain, but Spain is quite focused on Latin American countries, but still quite growing quite a lot now. The economy is working really well, so it might be a good place to look. Germany, UK, Spain, France. These are the top four. Countries that are surprisingly low are Italy. In spite of its size, for example, there's not a lot of immigration happening in sheer numbers, right? I don't know how easy or how hard it is, what the visas look like. Just saying, hey, how many people get the visa, non-tourism visa to these specific countries? Italy is relatively low. Switzerland is relatively low. Poland is relatively low. One group of countries that form a quite strong one is the Nordics. So in general, if you look at Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and missing one, Norway. As a group, they rank probably fifth higher or something like this. So these are the countries that attract more foreign workers. Does that answer your question, buddy?
Yeah, yes, it did. I think it did. And I think I'll just ask the next one. Well, not the next one on the chat, but the next one I think is natural to you as well. Louis, would be, do I need an employer to offer me a job to make the moving easier? I know we were talking about the blue card visa, and I know there are a few other options, as you said, but I don't know if you want to app on the blue card and then also use that to answer this person's question.
So I'll focus on make the move easier, right? So this is the point. Yes, blue card you're only going to get if you get an employment. Full stop. If you don't have a job, you can come as a job seeker or with a chance card. But you know, that's a limited duration basically, or a student, of course, if you want to study here, there's quite a lot of people who comes here, study part-time and work part-time. That works quite well as well. So these are the options. If you have a job offer, it's a blue card, and that's the easiest one. That's the longest one, not the longest, but kind of, you know, the most accommodative one. You get more rights. If you don't have a job, look for a Chancenkarte or a chance card, a job seeker. There's two different things, or student.
Thank you
Did
for
I answer
that.
the question, guys? Let me know in the chat if this
Yes,
is what
and
you're looking for.
if you feel like your question is still not answered, you can add more context or you can ask follow-on question in the chat as well. Just to mention that if you find a job as well, in some cases, the company would actually pay relocation package to help you with even your relocation, pay for your flight, and all of that as part of that entire process. We have a couple of sessions done on the eMigr8 platform. You can check for the replay video on the platform where the people that were speaking, they actually got roles that also paid for their relocation package. So they didn't pay a penny for that entire journey themselves. Promise, coming to you around internship, someone is asking around, this is a cybersecurity professional, but I guess the principle will be the same across board, which is that, can you help with how to find internships, paid or unpaid, as a cybersecurity professional to improve my hands-on experience and get qualified for the tech visa pathway? Promise.
Yeah, I think I saw a couple of questions, like, so I'll answer it broadly. Like, so basically for internships, I would say, like, I use like my own experience. I got I joined different communities. That time, even Facebook developer circle, it was still like vibrant. So I joined different, even Twitter, I was following a lot of tech people. Then on LinkedIn as well, and like I was just following people from all over the place, and then the community. So they usually post all the time where some company they're looking for this, they're looking for that. So I would say that's the best way, like from the communities you belong to. No matter your if you're in tech, no matter the field, definitely there are communities for that now. You just check, you just need to check. If you're a lady, the She Code Africa, I know that they are great. They'll help you. They usually put out internships, they put out job opportunities. Then also, even if you are already like advanced or you're already in the field, like me now, I'm looking to like change company. It's LinkedIn for me. I mean, people would always tell you LinkedIn jobs are maybe expired or they not expired. I don't know. A lot of things people say about it, but it's not even just going to the job side. It's more like following these people, following the recruiters. Trust me, every day they keep saying, oh, we are hiring. They keep saying, oh, we are doing this. So I feel like that's the best way because with that, you just message them directly. Or if they dropped email, you email them directly. So I would say, yeah, you can like explore that. But don't forget to join communities and keep checking for updates there.
Yeah, thank you for that promise. I'm going to take the next question to you, but just to add a couple of things from a Bincom and eMigr8 perspective. So eMigr8 community is one of the good places where you may want to look into. If you're active in the community, a lot of opportunity actually pass through eMigr8 community. And also as regards the internship, we do have the Bincom internship program. And if you're looking for a paid internship, you could look at the Bincom Global Tech Program. It's a premium program, but it could actually help the journey that you are talking about as well. So there are different opportunities out there. And as Promise mentioned, you need to keep your ears to the ground. You need to be in a posture available to be able to take advantage of many of those opportunities. Not all of them will come wrapped in gold. Some of them may be. So if you get an internship where they would actually pay you and pay you at a market rate and all of that, fantastic. But sometimes you may have to start with an unpaid internship or a volunteering opportunity or things like that. So that's something you may want to look at. Promise, I don't know if you can help this person. Luxembourg, Malta. Someone say something about, and just to mention to the audience again, this is not immigration advice. This is not legal advice. This is us just sharing from our experience. And so if one wants to go from Luxembourg, can first come to Malta and from there move to Luxembourg. I don't know, Promise, do you have any opinion or views as regards this question?
Of course, I mean Luxembourg is in the Schengen as well, and I believe it's part of the EU. But so specifically Schengen because that's the one that would allow you travel to all these countries. So you come to Malta, so that's why I mentioned like it's also a means to an end for you. I don't know what the end is for you, but like you come to Malta, right? Then you go to Luxembourg. You can go to any other place. You can go to Germany. But like me, I would say, like when I came, I traveled a lot. And when I was like in Portugal, for instance, I met a lot of people. And there are people that could have maybe helped me if I really wanted to stay in Portugal, I met them. But so if you go to Luxembourg, for instance, you could like physically find a job that would like make you settle there. It might not be, if it's like high tech job, they might still require you to apply online and stuff like that. But when they see your phone number and it's bearing the digits, the code for that country, I think it's easier. So you might maybe change the numbers, and those are just like some tricks they look at, change your address to Luxembourg. Oh, they want to see you interview. Yeah, you are in Luxembourg. So that is like that you can do that. It's okay. I mean, even if you want to move to Germany now, I know Germany that doing a lot of guys now with their visa. Like Louis will say, like I think they're doing a lot of guys because actually I've been wanting to like move to Germany. I was, but then when I moved to Malta, I just stopped trying. But yeah, I mean you could also move there, maybe change your code. Are you in Germany? Yes, I'm in Germany now. I think they would prefer that sometime. So yeah, you can basically do that.
Louis, I don't know if you want to add to that question.
I'm sorry, I was asking a question online that was directly answered to me, asked to me. Can you repeat the question, please?
Oh, the question was around, let me just read it. It was looking at going to an intermediate country. The final destination in this case is Luxembourg, but was
Mhm.
asking that should I first go to Malta and then maybe eventually move to Luxembourg. And Promise was just sharing around the fact that because you're already in Europe, it makes it easy to move to a different part of Europe as well. So I thought maybe you wanted to add some color to that answer too.
Um, so I'll add two dimensions to this, and I'm sorry if I'm not answering the question directly. So of course, echoing what Promise said, 100%. Once you're in the euro area, what employers will value quite a lot is that, oh, you worked already here, or companies that are here. Even if you work remotely with companies that are in Europe, the closer to your destination country, the better, of course. But if you work with European companies, if you demonstrated that even remotely or on here, this is already something on your CV, and it will make you stand out from other competitors for sure. So it could be, I wouldn't say that this will unlock the path that you want for sure, but working here already in Europe could be an advantage, absolutely. On the other side, what I would suggest is to remain flexible about the destination. Luxembourg is a very specific place. It's a very small country as well. Just if you think about the sheer number of people moving to Luxembourg compared to the population, the opportunities might not be the place where there's most opportunities in the world. I don't want to question your choices. It's up to you. But Luxembourg might not be the easiest place to move to. That's my answer.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good answer. Thank you for that. So I'm just trying to sum up questions because you're saying a really similar question. Okay, yeah. So somebody asked around digital marketing, and I mean that's just one out of, I mean, many tech skills that we are talking about here. But just to mention again that for this platform at the moment, we are focused on tech visas. However, even if you're an absolute beginner today, you can actually plan and work towards qualifying over a period of time. There are other visa opportunities available out there. We generally don't talk about those on this platform. I mean, we can mention them as they become relevant to the conversation, but our focus on this platform are around tech pathways and tech visas at the moment. We're working hard to expand that. So once the app is really robust, we'll be able to unlock more industry vertical on the eMigr8 platform. We're also training the eMigr8 AI, and it's really doing very well at the moment. We invite you to take a look at eMigr8.ai. Use the AI bot to also answer your question. We fine-tuned it with a lot of information and data that we have available on the eMigr8 platform. Someone was asking about slides. We usually don't share our slides on this platform. However, the replay video is available, and the replay video is available on the eMigr8 Tech Visa app. And so if you haven't logged in or registered on that platform already, that's a good place for you to start that journey. Louis, I'm going to ask you for this person. So this person says, I'm a tech hub founder in Owerri in Imo State. We basically train youths in tech skills. What's my hope to relocate? I don't know if that's a setup question, but I'm going to throw the question to you anyway, Louis, and see if you can add some color to this person's journey.
Of course. So let me read the question. I saw this one. So you are a tech founder in a state, and I don't know exactly which country. Is it
That's in Nigeria. So a tech
Nigeria?
hub founder in Nigeria. So a tech hub like a co-working space, tech hub, they train youths in tech skills as well.
Okay.
And so probably a co-founder or CEO of that particular organization, and then is asking, he or she that is asking, what is my hope to relocate? Are there opportunities that you feel like, oh, take a look at this and stuff like that?
I think it's definitely so. Broadly, I think it will depend. So to a question that's divided into sections, right? So broadly will really depend on your technological tech abilities. If you want to work with this, it's not super clear from the question, kind of whether you're a software developer or a product manager or something like this. But if you can code, there's definitely like a hope in a certain way, because even if you don't work specifically with education, you could work with something else. So, but it's not clear from the question whether you just kind of, organize the space or you actually teach people to code what it is. But if you can code, definitely you could take a look into this. So this is the broader answer. The more specific answer is that if you are educating people directly, and especially in Nigeria today, German education institutions are definitely looking to internationalize and understand a little bit better how can they hire students, so kind of bring students and kind of take students to their institutions internationally and making sure that they come here. If you have that network, if you have that knowledge, keep an eye on German. So what it's called here, Hochschule, which is basically an university that doesn't do research. It's very common in Germany. I will write this on the name on the chat a little bit later. It's very common in Germany. It's an university that doesn't do research. They do professionally oriented courses, and they're really trying to broaden their network of where they hire, basically. So you could look into that. I worked for one for a while. You could look into that. This is something that's specifically promising to you. It's relatively common here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the next question, which is UK visa available for a tech talent, and what is the process and duration it will take? And so for that question, I'll just mention that on the eMigr8 Tech Visa platform, we actually support five different pathways in the UK for either relocation or settlement in the UK on the platform. Number one is the UK Global Talent Visa, where you need to show yourself as globally attractive in the field of technology. Number two is the UK Skilled Worker Visa, and we couple that with our tech career coaching, which is that you need to land a job that will offer you work sponsorship in the UK. Number three is the UK Innovator Founder Visa, and this is beginner friendly. Even if you're an absolute beginner today, you can look at the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And for that one, you need to have an idea and a business plan that is adjudged as innovative, viable, and scalable for the UK. And you need to show that you're a genuine founder. That's what you need for the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And you need an endorsement body who would endorse you for that visa. Number four is the UK self-sponsorship route. That's not a visa by itself. It is actually a way of getting the UK Skilled Worker Visa. But instead of you looking for an employer, you can be your own employer. This is not aiding to the Home Office or anything like that. You would be the 90% or 95% owner of your own company. If you're applying alone or if you're applying with a partner, it will be a 50-50 split. But the key point is you will be the majority owner of your own company. And then you are able to get a certificate of sponsorship for that company. And then that company will sponsor your visa. It is for genuine entrepreneurs. It is for self-employed individuals, because you will not be able to work anywhere else in the UK full-time. You can work part-time in other organizations, but full-time you have to work in your own company. Then we have a package on the eMigr8 platform, which I mentioned at the beginning of this, and I'll mention it again now, which is our Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent package. It's actually a visa journey route where we target your profile towards three of the first three visas I mentioned at the same time. Even if you're an absolute beginner today, it's a pathway that you can look at employing towards either relocation if you are not yet in the UK, or if you're in the UK looking for a pathway to settlement, for settlement as well. What that does is it targets your profile towards UK Global Talent Visa, UK Skilled Worker Visa, UK Innovator Founder Visa with the eMigr8 triple guarantee. And what that does is that you need time though. You need to have at least 10 hours a week minimum dedicated to the program, because there's a lot of training. We are not saying fake it or not. You will qualify for those visas, and then we would apply and work with you to successfully land those visa opportunities. And so that's something you may want to look at, even if you're an absolute beginner today, or if you're already in tech, it makes the journey faster and shorter. Or if you're already in tech and you have startup experience, it would make the journey even faster as well. So those are opportunities that you could look at for the UK as options for looking at the UK. We mentioned earlier, and we're coming towards the end of today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day, that if you waited till the end, you would get a gift from us. I'll just be talking about that gift in a moment now, and then we'll go back to more questions in the chat. The gift is an extra short coaching session at no cost to you. And you've qualified and won that gift if you're on this call or you're watching the replay video till this point in time in the call. For you to claim that gift, what you would need to do is that you will need to go to one of the eMigr8 communities. We said the community, so if you send a DM to just one of the eMigr8 team members, that would not qualify. You need to go to one of the eMigr8 communities, whether on WhatsApp, whether on Telegram, whether on Twitter, whether on YouTube, and say that you were at this edition of eMigr8 Open Day and you won an additional short session. The community is being done manually today. Eventually, we're building the eMigr8 app so that this will be automated as well, but it's being done manually today. The community manager will take note of you. And if you book a short coaching session within the next 2 to 3 months, you would be able to get a second one at no cost to you. We're only able to do one extra session like this for each person. So please don't say, I've attended 10 eMigr8 Open Days, so therefore I qualify for 10 short coaching sessions. No, just one per individual. We're trying to help as many people as we can with the opportunity, and we are limited obviously by time as well. So if you're on the call till now, congratulations, you've won that extra short coaching session, which you can use as part of your journey, whether or not you're doing it yourself, or you're on a do it with me approach, or you're a do it for me approach. It doesn't matter. We are here to help. We have coaches on the eMigr8 platform who are able to handle you through the journey towards qualifying and applying successfully for the different visa opportunities that we support on the eMigr8 platform. And so I'm going to go back to the questions now as we round up today's edition. Relocating to Germany, in-depth tech skills, I think we've answered that already. Currently on training to become front-end, what should I do more to qualify for the tech visa? Oh, that's an interesting question. Promise, I don't know if you want to talk about this. So this is a front-end developer. I think the name looks female as well. The person is currently on a training to become a developer, and so obviously we'll get experience over a period of time. But could you speak a little bit about maybe some of the things you do outside day-to-day work? I know you've mentioned it twice, but this is sort of important for the likes of the Global Talent Visa, for the like of the USO1 visa, and so on. What are some additional things that these individuals can be doing to broaden the horizon in terms of the different visas that they could qualify for?
Yeah, I mean, as a front-end engineer, and by the way, I'm mostly focused on front-end. So, I mean, it's easier for you as a front-end to build up something that people would see. And if you don't have any experience in back-end, you can use Firebase and stuff, or get a back-end developer, but just to build something. Don't just build like to-do list or quiz app, you know. Those are the basic things we keep building all the time. But just build something a little complex, a little complicated, you know, with this structure. So that's gonna like stick you out, especially when they check your code, when they check all these things. So I think that will give you an edge when they already prove that you can do some complicated architecture. And also I would say like contributing to open source. I know people say this all the time, but it's really, really important. It's really good. Because even if it's just like a single line of code that you write and push, it doesn't matter. They want to see also that you know the convention of like pull request, that you know like how all those, you know, the boilerplates and all. So I would say like look for open source contribution to do, and also like hackathons, even if it's just a basic one. It doesn't matter, like just do contribute your skills. It will help you broadly when you are talking. And like I said before, follow these recruiters, follow these people that you feel like they are top. When they talk, just try to engage in their comment sections. It just helps. It helps, you know. Even me, I'm still learning that because I'm still growing in that aspect. So I think that would really, really benefit you. Keep building projects. Don't give up. Build something you are also passionate about, push it out, build another one, be consistent, and trust me, you're gonna get there. We are gonna get there.
Thank you. Thank you for that promise. I appreciate that feedback. Uh, Project manager, can software project manager get this visa? Yes. When we are talking about tech, we're talking about two sides of technology, the business side of tech and the technical side of tech. And so the business side of tech, as a software project manager, you would likely qualify for different opportunity, product manager, digital marketer. So we are not just talking about software developer. And Louise, I don't know if you want to share that you are not even a developer again to the audience.
So I didn't. So once again, by the time I really didn't understand the question. So the question was,
the question was, can a software project manager get this visa? And we've talked to a digital marketer. We talked to. So I wanted you to just reemphasize the business side of technology, since Promise is coming from the technical side.
let me turn the question around. If you can get the job, you will get the visa. It doesn't depend on kind of ideally if you can code for sure, but if you'll get the job, you'll get the visa, especially for the blue card, right? So of course, there's I'm talking about because you're asking about visa. So there's everything around chance cards, about job seeker visas. You won't need a job, but if you have IT skills, you will qualify and get points there. So yes, you can get this visa without getting the job. On the other hand, if you qualify for a job that it's kind of open for foreigners, yes, you'll get the visa. So absolutely, you can do it. As a marketer, you can do it as a developer, you can do it as a project manager, you can do it as a whatever you want. Yes, 100%.
Fantastic. And somebody is asking, and I'll just take this question as we come towards the end of this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Is it possible to get a job in Germany from Nigeria remotely? And if one wants to move to Germany as well? The answer is yes. We've shared Promise has shared our journey. And also, if you check on the eMigr8 Visa app, you will find other resources for the Germany route, German blue card visa, the German opportunity card, and so on, that you can also look at of individuals that move specifically from Nigeria to Germany. And in some cases, they didn't pay a dime because the organization that hired them actually paid relocation allowance. For one of them, their journey was that after 3 months, was it 6 months, they even left that company eventually. But the point is, all of these stories are there to inspire you and can show you some direction as well. Promise and Louis, when we come back, I'm just going to go back to the slides for a moment, but when we come back, we'll be asking you to talk to 5 categories of the audience in eMigr8 Open Day. The first are absolute beginners in the field. What would you advise them? What would you share with them as final word? Second category are intermediate people. They are 5 to 6 years in their journey. They've done a number of things in the field, but then they are still building their career. What would you advise them as regards settling in Europe and the different opportunities that are there? Then we have advanced people, head of IT in head of a microfinance bank, senior product manager in this place, 10, 20 years of experience in the field of technology. What would you advise them as regards this topic around settling in Europe as a digital talent? 2 more categories would be, and I'll repeat those categories again in a moment anyway, would be people in different countries of the world, but they are not on a pathway to settlement. What would you advise them in terms of pathway to settlement across Europe? What should they be looking at in terms of switching visas in the country where they are, or in terms of looking for visas from other parts of the world as well? And then finally, the people who are qualified already for one visa pathway or the other, what should they be doing at this point in time? So I'm going to start with Louis. Um, and then I'll go to Promise right after Louise, and then I'll just share a couple of other slides as regards the eMigr8 platform. Somebody was asking about how do you join the eMigr8 community? Download the eMigr8 app. The links to the community is there. The link to download the app has been shared on the chat, and we'll continue sharing the link to get the app, and you get access to the community from there. And so, Louise, I don't know if you want to start by just sharing your words to these different categories, starting from beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then the other two categories.
So we'll have to remember me what are the two for the categories.
Oh yeah.
But from beginning to intermediate to advanced, my advice is at the beginning, if you're at the beginning of the career, and I think Promise already kind of touched on this, keep building things that interest you, keep making sure that you learn different languages, like coding languages. Learning German is something that employers kind of look very positively upon. So if you want to start learning a little bit of German, ensure that you have a level A1, A2, whatever. This is something that impresses the potential companies that you're applying for. And one thing that I really like to see in CVs, and I know that it's very valued, is whether you took the leadership on some kind of initiative, some like, you taught coding to someone, or taught something to someone, or you opened up your own YouTube channel to teach coding, or kind of things they did with more people, convince more people to do things with you. This is an experience that's looked very, very positively upon. For the intermediaries, look, this is a bit more like the core of normally the people that come, kind of, we have a few years of experience. For you, I would recommend try to get as close to a European employer as possible. So again, language matters, but also if you want to kind of look for remote opportunities in European employers, this is a very good signal to that you're getting to learn the culture, so the working culture here. And if you feel like you're comfortable with it, and if you're in a good position before you have a family, for example, take a chance and try to come and look for a job here. This is also something that could work. So and quite a lot of people are finding their jobs here in Germany. And latest, if you're more advanced in your career, it's a tougher question, right? Because you tend to have a little bit more other factors in your life that has just not work, and it's a decision that waits. So it might take a little bit longer to find that opportunity, and might take a little bit longer to find that job. What you could consider there, if you have certain financial resources, is to study. And study will buy you not only the knowledge that you need and kind of how things are done here in Europe, but also the time to look for, and kind of will buy 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. It depends on how long you're going to study. But to do kind of a refresh course, a master's here, this is something that's quite positively looked upon. And if you want to, kind of, you can look for a job or even work while you're studying here. So this is something that it's good to highlight as well. In Germany, if you study here, you not only you're allowed to work part-time to finance your studies, and depending on how long you stay for the study, you can stay, I think it's 6 months to a year after you study. So that's kind of included, quote unquote, in your visa. So this is quite attractive. What are the two other categories, buddy?
Yeah,
So you
two
talk about
categories, somewhere in Europe, but not on a pathway to settlement. What can they do to optimize their chances? And then fifth category, people ready to apply. Are there some tips of what they should do or not do as regards applying?
right. So for people who are in Europe but not on the pathway to settlement, right? This is a tough one for me because in Germany, basically everything's a pathway to settlements. So because it depends on how long you're here and if you're paying into that retirement fund, these are kind of, but there's no like, oh, this visa gives you that condition or doesn't give. Every visa, if you're living in Germany, you're on a pathway to settlement. It's a very humane, and they try to keep it that way. Like it's a very humane, inclusive society in general in Germany. So it's hard for me to tell you that. So look, if you're in Europe and you're not a pathway to settlement, move to Germany. Maybe that's a good one.
Yes.
And
Ready
the
to
last
apply.
one is ready to apply. If you're ready to apply, it's partially a numbers game, right? So what I would strongly advise you to do is tier your applications and make sure that you dedicate time and focus on the top tier applications, either the ones you're more likely to get or the ones that you most want, but make sure that you hit the numbers as well. It might take some time. It's not an easy one, but again, make sure that you tier applications with kind of, the most likely ones or the ones more like you like the most. Make sure you focus on it, making sure that you do a tailored CV to it, that you kind of, know the employer, know their culture, try to anticipate what they're going to ask, make sure that you're ready. And then as you move down your tiers, kind of, dedicate a bit less effort. You can't, give 100% to 100% of the opportunities. If you're doing that, you're not looking at enough opportunities. But you definitely should kind of measure efforts. And the more targeted you go, the more likely you are to get it. Does it make sense, buddy? Does it make sense
It
to
does
everyone?
make sense. And I'll just come to Promise in a moment as well. Thank you so much, Louis, for those final. And do you have some final words for the community?
Look, I fundamentally believe that relocating is a great opportunity in life. Keep looking for it. I think this is something that really changed my life, and I hope it will change yours as well. I love my life here in Germany, and honestly, I wanted to talk a little bit about Germany. I didn't have the opportunity before. In Germany, you will get a very comfortable life, but you're not necessarily going to be a millionaire. So keep that in mind. Germany has a very thick middle, society, basically. So as Promise mentioned, you get not free, but your healthcare is paid with your taxes, your school, your kids' school is paid with your taxes, your daycare is paid with your taxes. It's a very Pacific country. So I really love it here, even though kind of, it's not the country that you're going to explode and kind of taxes are very high. So, but I really like it. Germany is a great opportunity country, and if you can make it, try. It's a nice learning experience here in Germany. I will have to go, buddy, as I mentioned to you in a message. I will have to go. It's getting quite late for me. I wake up early in the morning. I have two kids, but guys, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks a lot for hosting me, buddy. Let's keep in touch. And guys, I send my LinkedIn here. If you have any questions, reach out to Buddy, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help.
Thank you so much, Louis. And I know you mentioned about Peninsula Visa earlier as well, because you never know, some of your customers may be.
We're more B2B now. Again, if you have questions, fire. If we can answer, we'll put you in touch with someone who can. But we pivoted to be a more B2B company. When we met Bada, we were B2C, but we pivoted to more B2B technology company. But my LinkedIn, someone asked for it. Let me put it here. Yeah, do reach out. Happy to help.
Thank you so much, Louise. And I promise we'll come to you in a moment right now, basically. And just to say to everyone, if you want to join the eMigr8 community, I'll put the link in the chat. I got the feedback that some of the links may not have been working on the app. We'll fix that. Apologies. But we put the link in the chat. You can pick that up from the chat. WhatsApp is our best community to join us at this moment. Of course, we are also guarding the WhatsApp community, and so you usually be in a waiting room. We need to check to make sure that, you understand why the community exists before we let you into the WhatsApp community. And so that's the best community to join. I promise coming to you, and then I'll do the slides a little later. I promise we also wanted you to talk to those 5 audience. Thank you so much, Louis. We do appreciate you. We wanted you to talk to those 5 audience as well. Absolute beginner. And it was interesting you mentioned your journey from Bincom Dev Center, the Python classes and all of that. So that was interesting. But we wanted you to talk to those category of audience, starting from the beginner to the intermediate, to the advanced, to the not on the pathway to settlement, to the ready to apply. What would you say to each of these audience category audience members and in category of audience member in terms of what they should be doing now based on this session that we've had?
Okay. Yeah, I believe Louis covered a lot of it, but like for absolute beginners, let's say you're just getting started and you want to like migrate in the future. So I would say you should, this is like the best time to check what it takes for you to be ready, like maybe in 1 year, in 2 years' time. Like I said, myself, I I mean, after starting, it took me like about a year and a half. I got the remote job. I could have like migrated immediately, just that I wanted to like stay back for a while. So like 1 year would even be enough for you to like gather a lot of things, put things together. Many things that are even about packaging. So I mean, eMigr8 is here to package you out. So if that's all it takes. I mean, that's how all you just package, but of course, learn the skill you want to showcase, learn it very well, build the project, I keep saying, join the necessary communities. Like eMigr8 is also here. Once you join them, if they coach you, so you'll be ready like next year, next 2 years to apply for that, you know. And then for the advanced people, when you say advanced, I don't know like how many years,
10
but
to 20
like,
years.
wow. So I've not even gotten to advanced.
Yeah.
Okay, that's advanced. Okay. Intermediate. Okay, I guess that's where I am. I mean, I've not even like been up to like 5 years in the field, but when I'm packaging myself, I would be like, yeah, I have over 5 years of experience. That's what I told them. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to what you can offer. And I believe I can offer you something like, even if I don't know that, I believe I can learn it and the job. I can, when you meet some challenges, those are even the calls for you to learn those things. So just package yourself well, even if you're an intermediate. If you're an intermediate, you're already there. Like you're already at that point to like start doing stuff. Start like checking out the pathway. If you are doing the global talent, the UK global talent visa, I know it takes a while, but like as an intermediate, I believe you already qualify for it's something just to package and process your stuff. So I would say keep doing what you're doing and keep learning, adding to your skills, and make sure you just have the checklist of what you want to do, where you want to go, stuff like that, and start looking at it, start working towards it. And that also to the advanced people, that's the same thing I would say. I mean, you're already advanced, you're already like a king in the field. So you can package yourself and go wherever you want to go. Just make sure you have the right information, you make the right research. And for
Not on a pathway
the
to settlement. So they are somewhere in Europe. We have a large community in the UK, for example, not on a pathway to settlement, and they are looking at options.
yeah, actually, I would say I'm so like positioned there. Like I have a lot of friends in the UK that they still don't know the pathway to go because I mean, if you're on graduate visa in the UK, that's not a pathway to settlement. You
Yeah.
still need to get something. Yeah. So like people like that, I would say like, why not? I keep telling people, why not consider other pathways? Why not consider Europe? In my own opinion, I prefer, when I say Europe, sorry, I mean the EU. In my own opinion, I feel like there are more opportunities there than the UK. UK is just like so restricted. So why not broaden your scope? Even if UK is where you want to like finalize everything, I mean, it's not like working out that much yet. Why? Don't put so much pressure on yourself, so I would say consider just expand. Let's say move to even so I had a friend after doing those studies, so he already said that instead of paying the 3K to do the graduate, he was just gonna move to Portugal till he gets a job in the UK that will sponsor him. He was already like planning to do the D8, D7 Portugal visa before like he got a job. So he didn't pay anything for graduate. So he got the job, he stayed back. So I would say instead of putting so much pressure, what should I do? Why not go to some of these countries, some of these pathways that like they're already there without you breaking the bank. You just need to put some things together. Why not go there? UK is still where you want to settle. You work, prepare everything the proper way and settle there. You might even go to the other country and you prefer it. Who knows? So that would be my advice for people without the pathway. There are a lot. I believe that Mr. Bade will still talk about the new route, the German route, well, and stuff like that. Because I believe it's still like a very good opportunity. If you like your visa is expiring in the UK, you can just move to that place. Prepare everything well. Get some extra cash as you're even doing it. So that would be my advice. Then people that are ready to
Ready
apply,
to apply for Malta digital nomad visa. What's any tips for application or any tips you feel like they should know about if they're applying today?
okay. So for multi-normal visa, I would say like if you are ready to apply, that means you're already qualified, you checked everything. So kudos to you. And I would say make sure you've made the research. You can still like ask me question, maybe through but So but make sure you are aware of everything, you know. The accommodation, I already said, make sure you are seeing it before you are paying people huge amount of money for deposit. You are seeing the apartment physically. And also, just so you know, it used to be like a very smooth process. It used to be like very fast. But now, I'm guessing because of how popular Malta has become, yeah, I would say thanks to me as well. I really created a lot of awareness. Um, so there is now a huge amount of people applying to Malta. So it makes it like it takes longer now. So just know about that and be patient. They will get back to you. That's the thing. But also make sure you are really qualified before applying because you're going to pay 300 euros initially. And if you're not qualified, you're not going to get it back. You're going to lose your money. And I had someone that paid 1.2 million because it was in Naira, because it was for his family. And they lost it. Nobody is going to refund you. So make sure you are qualified for the specific pathway before giving them your money. And I think you'll be fine with that. So that.
Thank, thank you so much for that promise. And just to say to the community as well, as regards eMigr8, just to recap what we've gone through over the last 2 hours, more than 2 hours actually at this point, we've been talking about the different pathways to settle in Europe as a digital talent. And we've explained that, yes, some of the pathways we've talked about may not be beginner friendly, but over a 3 months, 6 months, 1 year period, if you already have transferable skill, you can actually start positioning yourself for many of these opportunities. And in positioning yourself, there are different things you should do. Different visa pathways have different requirements, but there's an underlining factor for all of them, which is if you are globally attractive, they want you in their jurisdiction. With the digital nomad visas, you would have to have a job outside, or mostly that is, you would have to have a job outside that country of origin, and that job has to be fully remote, and you have to be earning a certain amount of money or higher. And if you're earning that a certain amount of money annually or higher, then you can apply, and to a large extent, you will be given that visa. It could become your intermediate pathway to say, I want to move away from my home country. And for some people, there are some countries where it is harder for you to get some visas to your final destination. But if you're applying from intermediate countries, and I'm using Malta as an example in this case, you could actually find it easier in some cases, not in all cases. But the truth is, you could also choose to settle in Malta, for example, because there are different pathways to settlement. We also spoke about Germany and spoke about the fact that Germany offers the job seeker visa. You need to show that you can afford your salary and rent and living expense for the 6 months to 1 year that you will be on that visa. But you could actually look at that as well as an intermediate pathway towards settlement. But you can look at the likes of the German EU blue card visa. With that one, you would need to get a job that will sponsor your visa. And in the process of getting that job, we've seen people in some cases who get access to even relocation allowance in a way where they don't even have to pay anything from their own savings to move to these different countries of the world. There are visas like the UK Global Talent Visa, where you have to show yourself as being globally attractive in your particular field of digital technology. And in showing that, you would have to be able to show that you qualify. And if you show you qualify, they are not just looking at your day-to-day work to say you earn a high salary. They are also looking at the likes of what you do outside your day-to-day work. And so you want to optimize your journey to ensure that you show yourself as qualified for these different opportunities. These are pathways you could use to switch your visa as well. If you're looking at options to say, oh, I've already moved, I'm in a different country. I'm in the UK, for example. I'm not on a pathway to settlement. What can I do? You can look at the tech routes to settle in the UK because there are different tech routes, and I labeled a few of them during this conversation today. We didn't focus on them in this session today, but there are open days in which we've done, and there are recorded versions of it on demand on the eMigr8 Visa app that you can take a look at to plot your journey towards settlement in the UK if you're in the UK and you are not on a pathway to settlement. Some of these journeys take time. So don't wait till 1 month till your post-study visa will expire before you now say, what will I do? What will I do? What will I do? What were you looking at for the last 1 year? What were you looking at for the last 2 years? Yes, if you didn't know about this opportunity, that's one thing. But if you know about this opportunity, but you do not take action, then I don't understand what you were doing. The action we are saying you should take is that look at your profile, look at the requirements, plot a gap between what is the requirement and what is my profile today, even if you're an absolute beginner today. Some of these pathways are pathways where you can get them within a 6 months to 1 year if you focus on it, maximum 2 years in some cases. But you have to start doing something yesterday or at least today, so that by the time it comes to assess your profile, you are already qualified. But that is a journey. That journey is something where, and on the eMigr8 platform, we offer a do-it-yourself approach, we offer a do-it-with-me approach, and we offer a do-it-for-me approach to things. Many of our do-it-yourself approach is actually free. We offer templates, self-guided roadmap. We offer resources, video resources, and we offer some short coaching sessions where you get help, and we offer the eMigr8 Visa app and the eMigr8 AI to guide your journey towards being globally attractive and qualifying for these visas. On the Do It With Me approach, we also offer premium coaching, and we offer premium access to a number of resources that can further enhance your journey, shortening the timeline and reducing the risk for you of eventually qualifying for this visa. And with the premium approach, which is the Do It For Me approach, in addition to what I've mentioned, you could also get things like logistics, technical writing, project management, and so on. When we say do it for me, by the way, it doesn't mean, oh, you're just going to pay money and do nothing. That's not what it means on this platform. What that means is that if you're a busy professional, if you need extra help, you get all the resources you need towards being able to be qualified and applying successfully for many of these different opportunities. What I'm saying in a nutshell is that there's specific action that you should be taking today if you're interested in these opportunities. If you're interested in any part of Europe, including the UK, or if you're interested in the EU, European Union, UK is no longer part of the European Union, there are things that you should be doing. Take a look at this information that we've shared today. We've shared and the coaches on the call today have shared their own journey towards what they've done and where they are today. And they've also shared in terms of some of the things they're looking at doing in the future as well. All of these is available to you. If you need support, we talked about the likes of the Beacom Global Tech Program, which is a premium program that helps you to get into the field of technology. We talked about the Labs by Beacom program that helps you to build a startup and learn to build a startup by actually doing it and building a startup yourself with a group of people. We talked about our tech career coaching program to say that if you're trying to land a job that will come with sponsorship, we have these available for the UK at the moment with a number of successes. We are also launching for Germany and Canada. If you're trying to land a job that will come with sponsorship, that will give you access to the EU Blue Card visa and things like that, you can talk to us about all of those available on the eMigr8 platform. And we've talked about a number of resources available on the eMigr8 platform as well. If you want to do a pre-assessment to say, do I already qualify? We have the pre-evaluation platform that will help you with that. If you're looking at the different visa opportunities, that what can I be looking at the moment? We have the eMigr8 Tech Visa Landscape that can help with that. If you're looking at having a community of people that are also on the same journey as yourself, we have the eMigr8 community that can help with that. And we have all of these available on the eMigr8 platform. With eMigr8 AI, we've also continued to fine-tune the eMigr8 AI to deliver value to you as you need it throughout your entire journey. For example, if you're looking at the UK Global Talent Visa, we've actually fine-tuned a model based on a number of UK Global Talent Visa rejections. And so you can put your profile in that fine-tuned model, and that model will be able to give you tips to say, oh, these are the things you should do. These are the things you could look at. These are the kinds of documents you should put together as regards putting forward a viable application. And of course, if you want a coaching session to talk it through, if you would like a human coach to walk you through the journey and hold you through the journey, all of this is available on the platform. Most of what we do is available at no cost to you, but we do charge a premium for some of our premium offering on the platform as well. If you're an absolute beginner looking at moving or settling in the UK or relocating to the UK and then settling in the future, we recommend our settle in the UK as a settle in the UK as a tech talent package to you, even if you're an absolute beginner. It's a better pathway than the UK student visa pathway plus post-study visa. For example, even if you are single, because you can move with your family, you move with a pathway to settlement from the beginning, and you move being able to work full-time in the UK from day one. And so rather than you paying expensive school fees only to trying to figure out how to settle in the UK later, you may want to look at this pathway. It does take time. You will need at least 3 months to 6 months minimum for you to be able to look at this pathway at all. But it could be good for you if you're trying to relocate to the UK and settle. It could be good for you if you're looking for a pathway to settlement in the UK, because it also actually comes with the eMigr8 triple guarantee. So I've said a lot of things in just trying to summarize to say, if you are globally attractive, you have options of many areas of the world to move to. Promise, I know I've been keeping you on the call longer than I wanted, but do you have any last words to just say to the community as we just close this call at this point in time? I know it's really late where you are as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's more late where you guys are than where I am. So what I would say is so mostly what our advice is, like, if you want to relocate, for instance, like as a digital talent, I would say you should like consider what are the easiest ways for me to relocate, even if that's not the best choice you would have made. So just take it like, just like you said, if it's like the intermediate, if it will connect you to that actual place you want to be. So I would say like that is also great. You can start with it. Like for Malta, if you're moving to Malta, when I was moving to Malta, I never really planned to like live my whole life in Malta, but it was like a means for me. Though like now, like I love Malta, I love the weather there, I love everything about it. But I still know that it's too small, it will not contain the kind of life I want to live. So it will be like maybe somewhere, maybe in the winter, I will go there because they have amazing winter there more than many places. But that's it. So it was just like a means to push me to make me more close to where I wanted to be. So you can also do that. Just select the best one you think you made, the best pathway. Just go from there, and very soon you will be more attractive, towards the actual one you want to like take. So that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Promise. And just to say to the community again, don't forget that if you're in call till this point, we announced earlier to say you've won a prize, and that prize is an extra short coaching session on the eMigr8 platform where you can book a call with one of the coaches on the platform, and they would be able to share with you details and answer your own personalized questions. For you to redeem that, you need to go to any of the eMigr8 community, WhatsApp or Telegram, or any one of the other communities, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. And you want to write on the community that you were on this session till the end, and you have won yourself a short coaching session. The community admin will take note of you, and they will be able to add to your profile the fact that you have an extra coaching session at no cost to you. You can use that for any point in your journey as you need over the next 2 months to 3 months. And so you don't have to book immediately, but you have to redeem immediately, whether you are watching the replay video or you are on the call right now on the live session at the moment. Go to the community, just say that, and then you'll be able to redeem. I saw one question we missed, which is what would you advise for a beginner learning Python? If you're learning Python, build real life applications, work with real life users, build something that real life users will use. If you have access to internship, volunteer program, and things like that, go for it. Use that. If not, build your own startup. Find something, a niche that people need, and build something and try and market it to users. Get friends to use it, get family to use it, get paying customers to use your startup, and that could help you in the long run as well. But please don't be captain local host. That's the worst thing you can do, or get stuck in the tutorial L to say you've done this tutorial, then you've done this next tutorial, and then you've done this next tutorial. You are actually not moving forward as much as you may think that you're moving forward. So yeah, that's some things for you to think about if you're a beginner, and then you can join the likes of the Bincom Tech Club, and you could join the eMigr8 community to continue this conversation as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for being on this call. We hope this has been useful for you. If it has been useful for you, please give us feedback. This is why we continue doing this, because we keep getting your feedback that has been useful. We would also crave that you give us a rating on the eMigr8 platform. You can give a rating on any of the app stores. You can give us a rating on Trustpilot. You can give us a rating on Google Maps as well. Just let us know that if we're doing well. A public rating also helps our marketing on the platform. And generally speaking, we look forward to being able to be part of your journey. We hope this has been a contribution to your journey. And if you need more, we can continue our conversation on the eMigr8 community or on the eMigr8 app. eMigr8 is spelled eMigr and then number 8. That's how you spell eMigr8. And download the app is the best way for you to get started on that journey towards being globally attractive. Thank you once again, and we wish you the very best in your journey. Thank you.